My name is Ipanse Kenji Sakai. I'm from class 6C, and I'm here to present my presentation project social linguistics. And the first part is diglossia. What is diglossia? Diglossia is a sociolinguistic situation where two language varieties are used by the same community for different functions. There is typically a high age variety used in formal, official, and written contexts, and a low L variety used in everyday informal conversation. The two varieties coexist but serve complementary roles in society. Diglossia can exist between dialects of the same language or entirely different languages. The concept highlights the functional distribution of language in multilingual or multidialectal societies. Each variety is used for a quite different set of functions, and the two are systematically kept apart by Ferguson 1959. Characteristics of diglossia. There is a feature of high variety and low variety. The function is for high variety is formal situations, education, media, and law, whilst low variety is informal everyday conversations. Acquisition in high variety is learned in school, while in low variety is acquired at home mother tongue. Prestige in high variety is higher social status, whilst low variety, lower prestige but widely spoken. Literary tradition in high variety is strong, standardized, and written text, while in low variety is rarely written, often oral. Instability stability in high variety is maintained for official roles, whilst low variety remains in community use. Standardization in high variety is highly standardized grammar and vocabulary, whilst low variety is not standardized in more variation. Types of diglossia. 1. Classical diglossia, as defined by Ferguson 1959, refers to situations where two varieties of the same language coexist, one high for formal context and low for informal communication. For example, in Arabic speaking countries, modern standard Arabic high is used in formal settings, whilst local dialects are spoken in daily life. Extended diglossia, as described by Fishman in 1967, it involves two entirely different languages functioning in high and low roles. A notable example is Paraguay, where Spanish and Guarani are used in separate societal functions. 3. Situational diglossia occurs when speakers shift between varieties depending on the social setting or topic, often without a rigid high-low distinction. This type is commonly found in bilingual communities. Each type of diglossia highlights the functional specialization of language in society, reflects underlying issues of prestige, power, and identity. Sociolinguistics implication of diglossia. Education impact. Use of high variety in schools can disadvantage children who grow up speaking only the low variety. This leads to language gaps and educational inequality. By Holmes 2013, page 39. Language planning and policy. Governments must decide which variety to promote in official domains. Promoting the high variety may lead to language shift or loss minority languages, code switching, and language mixing. In diglossic communities, switching between high and low can reflect social meaning, politeness, or topic change. Reflects social hierarchies. High variety is often linked to power, education, and upward mobility, Low variety is associated with solidarity, identity, and local culture. This can reinforce social inequalities by quoted by Holmes 2013. Language attitudes and identity. Speakers may view the L variety as incorrect or less valuable even though it's widely spoken. These attitudes affect language maintenance, spread, and cultural identity. Examples of diglossia: Arabic-speaking countries. High variety, modern standard Arabic MSA used in formal writing, news, education. Low variety, regional dialects, Egyptian Arabic, Levantine Arabic used in daily conversation. In Switzerland, high variety standard German taught in schools used in writing and official documents. Low variety Swiss German dialects used in everyday speech. High variety French used in administration, formal education, and low variety Haitian Creole spoken in informal everyday context. Paraguay high variety Spanglish official use, formal communication, and low variety Guarani used at home and informal settings. Indonesia. High variety bahasa Indonesia used in school, media, government. Low variety local languages like Japanese Sundance used in informal community settings. Conclusion. Diglossia is a sociolinguistic situation where two languages varieties are used for different purposes within the same community. The high variety and typically used in formal settings like education and government, while the low variety is used in everyday informal situations. This division reflects social roles, power relations, and language attitudes. By understanding diglossia, we gain an insight into how language functions in society and how it can be connect and divide people within a special community. And here's the references for this part. And part 2, I'm gonna present now I'm moving on to the part 2, which is the second topic, dialect. What is dialect? A dialect is a variety of language used by a particular group of speakers that includes differences in pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. Dialects are usually tied to geographic regions, region dialects, or social groups, social dialects. All dialects are linguistically equal, but they may have different social prestige. Dialects are not inferior or incorrect forms of language. They are systematic and rule-governed. According to Holmes 2013, dialects reflect the social and regional identity of speakers. Trujillo from 2000 emphasized that there is no clear boundary between a dialect and a language, as distinctions are often social and political rather than purely linguistic. Types of dialect. 1. Regional dialects. These are the varieties of language spoken in different geographical areas. For example, English spoken in the southern United States differs from English in the northern regions, with distinctions in words like you all versus you all. Chambers 2003. Number 2. Social dialects. These are often influenced by factors such as class, occupation, and education. For instance, working class speakers might use different expressions or grammatical structures than middle class speakers, and even if they live in the same region. 3. Ethnic dialects. Ethnic dialects emerge within specific ethnic communities, often shaped by shared history, culture, and language. African American Vernacular English (AV) is an example of an ethnic dialect with its own set of grammatical rules and vocabulary. 4. Standard versus non-standard dialects. The standard dialect is typically used in formal settings, education, and the media, while non-standard dialects are often viewed as informal or regional, although they are just as valid as standard forms. Holmes 2013. Features of dialects. 1. Pronunciation or accent. Pronunciation is one of the most noticeable features. For example, British and American English speakers pronounce words like schedule or tomato differently. However, it's important to note that pronunciation differences do not necessarily indicate linguistic inferiority. There are simply natural variations. 2. Lexical choices. Lexical choices vocabulary can differ widely between dialects. A common example is the British word lorry versus the American truck. Such differences are shaped by geography, culture, and social experience. 3. Grammatical structures. Grammatical structures are grammatical structures also vary. For instance, in some English dialects, double negatives like I didn't see nothing are grammatically acceptable and carry specific meanings. These structures are rule governed within the dialect, even if they deviate from the standard full norm. According to Wardhoe and Fuller 2015, these features are not random. They are internally consistent systems that evolve through social interaction and historical development. Understanding these features allow us to see dialects not as broken or incorrect forms of language, but as expressions of identity, group, and group belonging. Next is examples of dialects. English dialects. British English versus American English differ in vocabulary, flat versus apartment, pronunciation, schedule, and spelling, color versus color. African American vernacular English, an ethnic and social dialect with unique grammatical rules like the use of habitual be, she be working late. Wakeford 1999. Indonesian dialects. Japanese dialects consist of different speech levels, ngoko, grama, kramak, inggil, that reflect social hierarchy. Snedon 2003. Betawi Malay, a dialect spoken in Jakarta known for its influence on modern informal Indonesia, bahasa gaul. Arabic dialects. Modern Standard Arabic (MSA) is used in formal contexts, whilst regional dialects Egyptian Arabic, Levantine Arabic are used in daily communication. Ferguson 1959. Chinese dialects, Sinitic languages. Mandarin versus Cantonese differ in phonology, vocabulary, and mutual intelligibility. Though called dialects, they can be as different as separate languages. Chambers and Trotgill 1998. The difference between a dialect and a language. The distinction between a dialect and a language is not purely linguistic, but often social, political, and historical. Linguistically, a dialect is a variety of a language with systematic differences in pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. However, when mutual intelligibility is used as a criterion, many so-called dialects are actually not mutually intelligible, as in the case of Mandarin and Cantonese. Social linguistics like Max Weinreich famously stated that a language is a dialect within an army and a navy, emphasizing that political power often determines whether a variety is called a language or a dialect. Wardhoe and Fuller 2015 explained that standard languages are usually given higher status and institutional support, while non-standard dialects are often seen as inferior despite being equally complex and rule-governed. For example, Hindi and Urdu are mutually intelligible but considered as separate languages due to religious and national identity. In contrast, Norwegian and Swedish are considered separate languages even though they are largely mutually intelligible. How dialects influence society and identity. Language and identity. Dialects are strong markers of a personal and group identity. They reflect regional, ethnic, or social group membership. Holmes 2013. Attitudes Attitudes toward dialects. Some dialects are seen as prestigious, while others are stigmatized. Speakers of non-standard dialects may face discrimination in education, media, or employment. Milroy and Milroy, 1999. Dialect and social class. Language variation often reflects social class divisions. Standard dialects are linked to higher education and economic advantage. Language change and maintenance. Dialects contribute to language evolution and diversity. However, pressure to conform to standard norms can lead to dialect loss, especially in younger generation. Code switching and flexibility. In multilingual and multidialectal societies, speakers may switch between dialects based on context, audience, or topic, a key socio-linguistic skill. Conclusion. Dialects are a vital part of every language, reflecting the rich social, regional, and cultural diversity of its speakers. They are not merely informal or broken forms of language, but are systematic, rule-governed, and meaningful. Understanding dialects help us appreciate how language shapes identity, reveals social relationships, and reflects power structures within society. By valuing all dialects equally, we support linguistics diversity and promote social inclusions. Now here's the references, and that's it for my presentation project social linguistics. Thank you for watching this video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.